How to stop overthinking. Social situations after 60. Have you ever driven home after a conversation and then spent the next hour replaying it in your mind? You wonder if you talked too much or not enough, if you sounded awkward, if you said the wrong thing. Well, if you've ever done that, you're in very good company. The surprising part is that most of the things we overthink, almost no one else even remembers. Let's talk about why that happens and how to stop letting it steal your peace. 1. Remember that everyone is thinking about themselves. Here's something that took me a long time to understand. Most people leave a conversation thinking about their own performance, not yours. They're wondering, did I talk too much? And was I interesting? Did I come across okay? Did I make sense? They're usually not replaying your words. They're replaying their own. Once you realize that, you start feeling freer. 2. Stop looking for the perfect conversation. A lot of us quietly believe that every conversation has to go well. But conversations aren't performances, they're experiments. Some feel effortless, some never really get going. Some are great, some are just ordinary. And that's okay, that's how real life works. You don't judge every walk because one step felt awkward, so don't judge every conversation that way either. 3. Replace judgment with curiosity. Instead of asking, did I embarrass myself? Try asking, did I learn something? Maybe you learned that. You relaxed after 10 minutes. You interrupted less than you used to. You enjoyed talking to one particular person. You'd like to ask more questions next time. Curiosity allows us to learn. Judgment just repeats itself over and over again. 4. Stop trying to read people's minds. This is one of the biggest causes of overthinking. Someone leaves quickly. They don't text. They seem distracted, and immediately we make up a story in our minds. They must not have liked me. But maybe they were tired. Maybe they had another appointment. Maybe they were thinking about something happening at home. We fill in blanks with negative assumptions. But the truth is that most of the time, we just don't know. 5. Give yourself credit for showing up. This matters more than people realize. Many social situations take courage. Things like walking into a room, starting a conversation, introducing yourself, going somewhere alone. And those things count. Even if the conversation wasn't perfect, you still did something that a lot of people avoid. So, celebrate the effort. The skill grows from repetition. 6. Let conversations be imperfect. Think about your favorite people. Do they always say exactly the right things? Of course not. Sometimes they pause. Sometimes they forget words. Sometimes they tell stories that wander. But what makes them enjoyable isn't perfection. It's their authenticity. The same is true for you. People usually remember how they felt around you, not whether every sentence was flawless. 7. Give your mind a better question. When you get home after a social event, don't ask, how did I do? Ask, did I enjoy anyone's company? Notice the difference. The first question puts you on trial. The second helps you discover where real connections exist. That one change shifts your attention away from performance, sites, and toward relationships. One of the greatest freedoms that can come after 60 is this: realizing you don't have to perform your way into belonging. You don't have to be the funniest person, the smartest person, or the most outgoing person. You just have to be present. Not every conversation has to be remarkable, it just has to be real. The more you let go of trying to get every interaction exactly right, the easier it gets to just enjoy the people in front of you, and that's where real confidence begins. Thanks for watching. If you have any other suggestions for ending overthinking, please leave them in the comments below. My socially anxious mind always needs suggestions. I'll see you next time.